Hello, my friend. It is the day. Finally, it's here. It's my Morphe Foundation, Concealer, Powder review. Oh my gosh, this has been something I've been working on for a very long time. I've got so much to share with you. We're gonna try our best to make these work today. If that sounds like something you wanna see happen, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been playing with these products for a very long time, thanks to the lovely Shanine over at Too Much Mouth. She was kind enough to send me products of the lighter skin tones from her PR package. I am not on Morphe PR. I was planning on purchasing everything. She got them to me. I guess it was the day before or the day of the launch. So I've only had a couple days longer than the general public to play with them, but as you may know, that's been quite a while. I'm not gonna go into why this is taking so long, but I'm ready. That's the point. I'm ready to share with you my thoughts about these. Okay, let's go ahead and first start off with Morphe as a brand. Morphe has had a lot of controversy in the past. Most of the things that they've had controversies about have been about kind of deceptive marketing kinds of things, like saying things are sold out when they're not really sold out. At least that's the thought, is that they're not really sold out. Putting out subpar products and then having influencers promote them as being amazing products, things like that. Nothing that I could find or that I remember that was like super shady, where we're like, at least in my opinion. Maybe, everyone's got their own opinions about what's shady and what's not. I will link some different videos and resources down below for you in case you're curious more about Morphe as a brand. That leads me into their cruelty-free status. They have said that they are a cruelty-free brand. The products are designed and all of that, their headquarters are all in the United States, but they do manufacture most of their products in the People's Republic of China. This is where things get a little bit weird. A lot of people think that just because something is manufactured in China, that means that it cannot be cruelty-free. That is actually not true. There is a law in China that says that products cannot be sold to Chinese consumers unless they are tested on animals. Morphe directly exports, and I'm not gonna hold up this one because this one's actually made in the United States, but Morphe exports their products from China directly to the United States, so they do not need to be tested on animals, even though they are manufactured in China. And I will link a resource down below about that. Now, another thing recently is the Jeffree Star brush collection has been announced, and I'm not really sure before then if they did have animal hair brushes or not, but I do know that the Jeffree Star, at least according to him, the Jeffree Star brushes do have a mix of natural and synthetic hairs. Some people believe that that knocks them out of being cruelty-free because any kind of animal hair would potentially harm the animal. Some people say that, they brush it off the animal and then use it. Some people don't care if it's brushed off the animal or not, or they don't believe it. I don't know. But just so you know, they do have animal hair brushes on their site. So if that knocks them out of cruelty-free for you, then that would be no more cruelty-free for them. It just really depends on what your standards are for cruelty-free, since there is no legal definition of what is cruelty-free and what is not. The description on the website says, finally a foundation throwing major shades, 60 to be exact, shades to fit you and you and you, even though there have been some complaints about the undertone, but we'll get to that later. Because the shade struggle is real, meet a long-wearing, full-coverage foundation that performs like a boss and is not caught in the middle or playing sides. Not quite sure what that means, but instead values your hue and your wallet. The shade game is officially over. Your face has found its place in the world. What does this really have to do with makeup? I don't know. To me, this screams marketing, marketing, marketing. So 24-hour long wear, sweat-proof, transfer-resistant, water-resistant, free of oils, fragrance, and parabens, great for all skin types. That's what this foundation is supposed to be. So we're gonna find out whether it lives up to all of those claims. The concealer is in 30 shades plus a white shade, so half as many. The description on Ulta describes it as being a 16-hour long wear, sweat-proof, transfer-resistant, water-resistant, free of fragrance, parabens, and ophthalmologist tested. The pressed powder is in half as many shades as that, in 15 shades. And just the description on here, I give them props for being very creative, but at the same time, it's kind of like marketing, marketing, marketing. The scroll-stopping, jaw-dropping insta-look? It's all you, Morphe, babe. You'll be killing the competition game with this shine-free, oil-absorbing, pressed finishing powder that completes or freshens up any look. And it just kind of goes on and on and on. But the benefits are buildable to sheer to medium coverage, creamy lightweight formula, shine-free, oil-absorbing, selfie-approved, and includes puff for on-the-go application. And we will be using that today. So now that we've gone over all the details of the products, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a demo of me putting on the products today. I've been trying these for a very long time, so I've kind of found some little tips and tricks to make it better, and I'm gonna go over those with you as I do the application. So yeah, I think you're gonna find this part particularly interesting. Hang tight, we're starting right now.
Does it get easier?
No. Yes. It gets easier. The more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
I just don't know what I'm supposed to be.
You'll figure that out.
Okay, so now I've shown you how I shade matched with the shades that Shanine sent me, and we're gonna go ahead and apply now. What I decided to do was to put primer on half of my face. Now this is the NYX Angel Veil. The formula is actually kind of similar in the base of it to the Morphe Foundation. So this one is the one that I've found to be the most compatible as far as the foundation breaking up. The primer that you use really does make a difference. You definitely wanna use one that has a silicone as the base. As far as applying the foundation, I found that if you apply less to the face, it is less likely to show pores and less likely to sink into fine lines and wrinkles. So this is the bare minimum that I can use in order to cover my entire face. No matter what, it does end up being a full coverage foundation for me. Another thing is to apply it with a beauty sponge because it does sheer it out just a little bit. I have applied this with my electric foundation brush as well as a regular foundation brush. I've even tried applying this with my fingertips, and I definitely think the prettiest finish is with a beauty sponge. And this is how we're looking so far with just the foundation. Let's go ahead and pop the concealer on. Now this concealer, even though it is the closest shade match to me, it is a little dark to my preference, hence the weird face. So I'm gonna use just a little bit of the white concealer and lighten it up just a little bit. So I'm very thankful that Shanine sent me that as well. I find the mix of these two gives me a nice brightening concealer shade. I posed for a second just so you could see the shade mixing there and how that ends up looking. I do apply concealer with my fingertips. That's my preferred way. But with this foundation, I also like to tap it in with the beauty sponge because that way I do find that it does sheer out, again, the concealer just a little bit and just makes the overall finish prettier. Now let's move on to the pressed powder. We are going to be using the pad that they included. I decided to use a clean pad. So just, I don't know, for aesthetic purposes. But I actually do like pressing this powder into the skin. I find that it really does work best when it's pressed into the skin rather than kind of fluffed all over. When it's fluffed all over, it looks like almost like it's sitting on top of the foundation rather than melding in with it. So I definitely recommend, no matter what you do, that you kind of press it into the skin, whether it's with the sponge that's included or with a brush rather than dusting it all over the face. All right, this is the finished base with the foundation, concealer, and powder. So take a close-up, quick look at that because we're gonna see how that wears down through the day. Hold on just a sec, we're gonna do the rest of the makeup, and bam, there it is. There's the rest of the makeup for today. We'll take off the bare ears, expose all those beautiful gray hairs. Yay. And this is the finished look with all of the rest of my makeup on. So take a quick look at that, and then we're gonna get to the wear test in just a minute.
So now that we've gone over all of that, we're not gonna spend a lot of time on ingredients today. And the reason why is I already did a video dedicated to the ingredients of the foundation. Nothing really standing out in the ingredients of the concealer or powder, which is actually a very good thing. But I did wanna address specifically a couple of things from that video that people in the comments took issue with or that I felt like I needed to clarify. It's hard to sum up what these comments were about, so I'm just gonna use the quote of the different people commenting under my videos. The biggest issue that people seem to have with that video was the way that I kind of nonchalantly talked about the foundations staining the skin. This is something that people have proven over and over again, especially people of lighter skin tones swatching the deeper skin tones and then seeing that the foundation will stain the skin. My point was, if the foundation directly matches you, then the stain isn't going to show up and you're not going to be able to see it, so what does it matter? And I think that was misconstrued by a lot of people based on some misconceptions about what staining really is. So here's an example of a comment. She says, I disagree about the staining. I'm sorry, I don't want any staining on my skin, whether it's visible or not. To me, that tells me there's a remnant of the product on my skin and nobody wants product remnants on their face. Okay, so this is the way that skin staining works. It's the same if you get a lip stain, or if you try on a very pigmented lip with lipstick, or a very pigmented eyeshadow and it stains the skin. It's the same as if you cut a strawberry and it stains your skin, or some other kind of food, or if you're playing with paints or whatever. It's all the same thing. The top layer of your skin, because it's kind of in its shedding process, will absorb some of the color. That doesn't mean that there's remnants of the product still on your skin. It's a stain, kind of like after you've washed a shirt, after you've gotten a stain on it. It's not that the shirt is still dirty, it's just that pigment has now changed the color of that shirt. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that there's remnants of the product left on the skin. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions from the video that I did. Here's another comment echoing pretty much the same thing. In regards to staining, I think it is an issue not for aesthetic reasons, but it's an issue of when it comes to removing it, especially if it has troublesome ingredients that could potentially cause breakouts or a reaction. You want to be able to take it off at the end of the day without issues. And if we're wearing an exact shade match, there's a chance I could have staining without even realizing it when I take my makeup off at night. Same thing. There were some people that were very upset with me because it seemed to be the deeper shades that were staining, but if it's the same pigment, chances are the light shades are staining the skin too. We just can't see it. We don't know whether a lot of these things may be staining us because they're matching our skin. So it's not just about the deeper shades, it's probably the lighter shades too. Again, we just can't see it. The thing about the troublesome ingredients, I dug deep into the ingredients of these products, and there isn't a single ingredient in any of these products that isn't found in other foundations and concealers. So it's not the ingredients. The pigments themselves are used in makeup across the board. There is nothing dangerous, according to current research, that says that there's anything about these products that are going to harm you, even if they stain your skin. It is not going to be harmful, and that's what I meant in my video. Now, this was the part where I felt like people in the comments had a really good point. So this comment says, I think the staining was overblown, but I was talking to a friend and she said her concern was the staining was she could get the wrong shade and try it on and it would stain her skin in a way that would be slightly noticeable or give a strange look. And that's a really good point because a lot of people are complaining about this foundation that it does have weird undertones. And as you saw in my my kind of shade matching that I did, some of the undertones were a little odd. So I can see where that would be a cause for concern if you don't have your exact shade match. And people of color tend to have a more difficult time shade matching than people who are of a lighter skin tone, so that could be more of a problem. I totally get that point. I'm with you there. Some people, a lot of people were saying in the comments that they use foundations for contouring. So they are specifically using a foundation because they want to use a different color other than their natural skin tone, and that could cause a problem because it's not matching their skin. And if they have that left over, it's gonna look a little odd. I'm totally with you on that. I completely get it. I think that you're right on that. And that's something I hadn't considered before, so thank you for your comments. The last one I want to say is this person just says, but should a foundation stain the skin? And you've got a point there too. Should a foundation stain the skin? Probably not. We're not really used to that. It's super weird. And I think that's what sits wrong with everybody about this foundation staining, is that it's just weird, that it's not supposed to happen. It's not like a lip stain where that's just the point of the product is to stain the lips. It's something that's not really supposed to happen. And I think that's where it's freaking a lot of people out. The last thing ingredient-wise I wanted to touch on was a couple people that were very upset in my representation of silicones, in that I said that silicones can clog pores for some some people. That has been reported to me since the beginning of my channel, people telling me that silicones clog their pores, dimethicone, cyclopentasiloxane, all of these different ingredients that are loaded up in this foundation clog their pores. I will tell you that research does not necessarily back that up. Cosmetic research isn't something that is done as much as I wish that it was, and I wish that they would take these people that do have problems with silicones and their skin and test them to see if this is really happening from the silicones, or maybe it's some other ingredient in the product that people aren't aware of. But I did want to mention that silicone specifically clogging the pores is something that has not, in my research and according to these few commenters, has been proven by science, even though a lot of people do complain about it. I just wanted to mention that as well. I tried to find a formula dupe for these products. I couldn't find formula dupes for the concealer or the powder, but the closest one that I could find to this was actually the Tarte Shape Tape Matte Foundation. I'm gonna put the two ingredient lists on the screen together so you can see them. The ingredients are very similar, but they're in different orders, and I just thought that was kind of funny and interesting, so I figured I would share that with you. So that's as deep as we're getting for ingredients with this, is just kind of clarifying from the last video. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary with these, they're just regular foundation ingredients overall. So at this point, it is time for me to go about my day. It is currently, what time is it? It is currently 2:20 in the afternoon. I put this on about maybe half an hour ago or so. So we will be back at the end of the day to check the wear time of this. Let's go ahead and zoom in and just see where we're at. So this is the side that I used the NYX primer on. And then this side over here is the one that I did not use any primer on because I wanna see, you know, whether that is a difference or not. I want to take special note of under my eyes real quick and just show you that there's already some creasing happening. There's already some weird stuff happening under my eyes that I'm not happy about, but we want to check in at the end of the day to see how it wore. So hang tight. For you, it's going to be very, very fast though. So in a second, here it goes.
Hello my friends, I wanted to do a quick little vloggy vlog. I'm about to walk into the grocery store, but I wanted to show you what the foundation and concealer look like in natural light. So I figured I would, hold on, let me go this way. The sun is, oh, that's too bright. That's too bright, not good, not good. This was impromptu thought, but wasn't sure this would work out, but show you how my forehead's doing. It's only been an hour, but, or an hour and a half-ish. I just want to show you. There you go. All right, see you later. All right, it's about 4:40. Just got out of the grocery store because I like to take my time. Creasing, check my forehead. How's it looking? Wrinkled. That's not the foundation's fault though. All right, that's a lot of sunlight on my face. All right, we'll check in at the end of the night.
Hello, my friend, we are back. It is currently, what time? 10:45 at night. True 8-hour wear test is probably closer to 8.5 hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see how everything looks. You'll notice my blush and my highlight are still rocking. So just to let you know, I'm wearing a Sigma blush palette and I'm wearing an O for highlight. That's what's happening there, very impressive. Now, as far as the rest of my face, this is the best that this foundation has looked since I've been trying it. That being said, we still have lots of settling into fine lines. So let's check out the under eyes. You can see where it's creased inside my fine lines there. You can also see that it's creased inside the wrinkles on my forehead, which is no bueno. You'll also notice around my nose, it's getting kind of cakey on both sides. Ooh, okay, but remember, this is the best that it's ever looked. If you also notice the side with the primer, which is this side, and the side without the primer, you are currently zoomed in further than I can see on my own. So you'll be able to see even more than I can see. So I'd love to know in the comments below whether you see a difference between the primer side, take a good look, and the no primer side. And remember, the primer is a very similar formula to the foundation. So this is most likely one of the best primers that you could use with this type of foundation. So that being said, let's go ahead and zoom out. We're gonna do one more test. I kind of thought of this last minute and I think it's a really good idea. You'll have to tell me whether you think it's a good idea. This foundation is supposed to be sweat proof. So we're going to test that. And the way we're going to test that is I am going to change into my workout clothes. I'm going to take these fake eyelashes off. Oh, so satisfying. We're gonna take my hair extensions off. I'm gonna go work out on my bike for 20 minutes, sweat my face off, and we'll be back to see the final look of this foundation and how it wears through a long day and then a sweat. I mean, we're gonna put it through the ringer, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So I'm gonna go work out, and I'll be right back. It's a party over here. Woo, woo, woo. I just did about 5 miles on the bike, and I guess it was about 125 calories, which to people that work out a lot, that's not necessarily a lot, but for me, it's so stinking out of shape, that's a lot. I love this cup. It was the best arcade prize I ever got. I think I got it for like, I don't know, 300 tickets, something like that. Best prize ever. All right, let's check out this makeup. Let's see what we're doing. I'm gonna zoom you in. Am I zoomed in? No, I'm focused. Oh crap. I just totally messed up my focus, I think. Okay, we're just gonna have to zoom in manually. My husband went to bed, and I don't wanna mess up the groove here. I'm probably already out of focus. I think I just messed it up. It's all right, we're just gonna go with it. All right, so this is supposed to be sweat proof, so you can see better than I can what's happening. I didn't wipe my face at all during the workout. I just let the sweat just sweat on down. How's it looking compared to earlier, a minute ago? You have to tell me in the comments. I feel like it looks a little more broken up, like on my cheeks, like right here. Like, of course, I've got color coming through because my cheeks are still a little red, but it looks a little more broken up here, but that might just be because of the color of my skin. Concealer looks awful, absolutely awful. Okay, so, all right, here's the verdict on the foundation. This is what I'm thinking. All right, I think there's a market for the foundation and the concealer. I think there's a market for it, and I think the market is people who want to do like the full-on, full coverage, Instagram looking. I'm talking Jaclyn Hill, James Charles, all those people, that full face, mannequin looking, you know, not against them, you know, I'm not trying to throw shade, just some people really like that look, you know, that real super flawless look. That's not me personally, but there's a lot of people that look absolutely gorgeous in that look. This is for you. If you are someone that does not have any wrinkles, this is for you. If you're someone that doesn't have any observable pores, this might be for you. Basically the people that don't, in the traditional sense, need foundation, but want a full coverage foundation look. That's what this is for. Concealer, I can only speak to the fact that it's creasing in my fine lines really, really bad, really bad. So if you have no fine lines under your eyes, no dryness, no texture, this concealer might be for you. For me, these are both gonna be huge no's, huge no's. As far as the powder, I have used this with a few different foundations, and I have to say I actually really like the powder. The powder looks really nice on the skin. I don't like it as much as some of the loose setting powders that I have. I do find this does have a little bit of coverage to it. So if you like a powder foundation, just a really light coverage foundation, you may really like this. I do actually really like using the puff that they included, believe it or not. I feel like it really sets my foundation, really makes it look good, no matter which foundation it is, and adds a little bit of coverage to, let's say, a BB cream, something like that. So this is actually a win for me. I would actually repurchase this if I ever ran out of it, which chances are I'm never gonna run out of it. And one more note about the staining. If the staining thing bothers you, if it freaks you out, please don't purchase this. I mean, everybody's got their line that they draw in the sand as far as when things bother them, when things creep them out, when things, you know, are too much, when it crosses the line. Everyone's got their line. And I think that's where I messed up in the last video, in that I said it's not a big deal. What I should have said is it's not a big deal to me, the staining of the skin. I'm not trying to invalidate anybody else's opinion. If that crosses the line for you with the staining, this is gonna be a no for you, and that's perfectly okay. It's okay to have different opinions. That's what makes the world go round. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely make sure you subscribe before you head to your next video, which is hopefully one of mine. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications just in case. So because you know YouTube doesn't always notify you of when videos go live. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, hit the bell. Don't forget to check the channel just to make sure you haven't missed anything. All of that good stuff. Mad love to you. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in a video very, very soon that will not include these products.